So I'm looking forward to seeing how well they'll go here, Reliq. I think that those are the ones you want to watch out for the most here, and I'm just want to see not only how well they'll be able to handle themselves, but also how well the underdog teams and the dark horses will be able to challenge them. Because one good fight going wrong at the right moment means that actually things could start to fall apart for those favorites if the push comes to shove.
And Zikorik, I'll leave the question with you as well as we head into game number 1 of Group A. Have fun, everyone!
Let's go. I have a bit of a noob caster question. What am I supposed to be watching the game feed on your stream?
That's actually this was the surprise element. Is I was going to just let you cast blind and kind of half guess what's going on. Now you guys have something to watch.
Beautiful. We are in it, baby. Let's go.
Professional, by the way.
Hey,
always professional.
That's all we do out here.
I don't know, game 1, Zikorik. I mean, look, I've already highlighted a couple of teams to watch out for here. Is that like generally the best agreement in terms of our key favorites in this lobby?
Yeah, I would agree. And like some people got to keep in mind is a lot of these teams are literally brand new. Like, yes, there's some experienced teams. Like we recognize Gap, we recognize Not, we recognize Up from scrims. But like a lot of these other teams, I see potentially Moonlit Battlegrounds, B squad if that's who MBB is. But a lot of these teams, they have like not a ton of practice together, and that's going to be the advantage of these more experienced squad. But what I love about SUPERVIVE, and especially just like scrims this week, we see brand new squads stepping in, putting up monster performances, actually taking, you know, full games from some of these top squads in a lot of cases. And so, you know, there's actually so much hype to having 30 teams in a tournament because of how brand new it is, and action breaking out already here, Jay.
Yep, already got our first engagement in, and a decent spike from the NOT side as they kick things off with a clap back from Clap. Suzak not quite as confident in terms of following it up, but WTR seeming like they've got full control of the situation. Yes, down towards one player standing, Seal Wall to run away from the sometimes squad. As, well, they're just down to one player at this moment. Fortunately, it is these casualties in the early matchups, so there's time to revive and regroup and replay for the later game. But, yeah, not the best of starts from those boys here.
And something we've seen a lot, like especially in scrims, like teams practicing, and this is kind of just the way the meta has been developing since the massive patch changes, you know, basically making gold kind of the main factor of power, is there's a lot of like split farming, and especially see a lot of the top teams actually going for like a 4-way split, almost everyone playing like solo queue off the bat, depending on where they drop in the map. If they have enough space, that not only accelerates their levels in gold, it also takes away farm from other teams looking to find scraps on day 1 before they get those respawns through. And so we haven't seen much early fighting, but a lot of the times if teams drop over the same camp, they will contest. But right here where MBB is, the level 7, that's where we usually see the conflict start to break out, and we can see MBB sort of using that advantage, you know, kind of not even wanting a part of that. They just kind of instantly go to the north, seeing them at the level 7. That's the new ult level, right? And so once you kind of get that, you're sort of online to fight day 1, almost like the new kind of like soft level cap, even though that's kind of like what they were trying to take away. But I expect to see MBB now looking for some action, having gotten those 7s pretty early here.
You mentioned, of course, not wanting to take the early fights. They almost didn't have a choice because they were up against that no-tempo side, who have also been making waves in recent times in the North American scene. So a couple of challenges here and there across the map, but nothing that seems to come straight towards anything major in terms of the early game, in terms of like turning up a massive impact, which is a good thing for everybody, because that means that we're not going to be losing players and teams in the later portions of this matchup. Although that being said, as the zone closes in, might see some shifts of uncomfortable nature. Sometimes, in particular, of course, that team we mentioned earlier that lost 3 of their players. They have got those 3 back in play, but they have got White Tigers right below them. So there's potential in which they could, again, get flanked and potentially lose even more players. They kind of need to avoid that at this stage. Are they going to get a choice in the matter, though? They found one player isolated hunting for this Guardian, and they won't go for the engage. They'll just let him have some peace for the time being.
Yeah, I was thinking WTR might try to kind of ledge guard the edge of the circle as SMT was trying to push their way in there, but it looks like they're not. They kind of just give that up. Coming down on some action, looks like Gap, a couple knocks right off the bat here onto OCK. PCK, sorry.
QCK, it looks like an O. You can rest with that. It looks like Kai as well is going to be the only player that remains on this one. Height seems like he wants to try and hunt down this first team elimination, and it looks like he might just get his way right here. Kai's really got no other options. Teammates are dead. Damage has been done at least to Height, so defensive is good, but now Nidhogg is here to join him, so it looks like the Gap are going to get the first team kills, first team elimination, rather, I should say, as Kai can only do so much to defend himself right here. Running does find Height, very well placed from him, and does put enough space between him and King Nidhogg to where he has to consider whether he wants to actually go for this revive. He brings his teammate with him, and looks like Kai is going to run into a secondary team instead. Low expectations towards the western side of his flank. They won't look to engage him, though.
That was actually so well played by Kai. I've been in that situation many times as a myth, getting chased by a brawl. It's not fun. It's scary, especially the Height brawl, probably the scariest one. And super clutch R&B finishes it off with the damage, able to peel 2 players from Gap off of him. So very nice there by Kai. Keeps his team in. It's still 10 squads left.
All right, 0-0. NATA involved in some fights of their own and a good kill of a quick spike down on one player. We got that Bebo in on Kira, and if you were watching yesterday's Brawl tournament, then you would have seen how deadly he can be. Meanwhile, we just lost our first team of the game. Sometimes, indeed, it did lose out their players once again on that western side. So they are the first squad down. I would have hoped that they would have held their heals and their revives in for a little bit longer. That didn't quite happen for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was in, it looked like as we panned away, Kai was in like a rough spot there, caught between like multiple teams, looking for potentially that beacon and maybe getting pushed. Not quite able to pull it off, but you can't get them all out at 10th. They are going to be wanting to come back in the next couple of games with a vengeance because, you know, 4-game series, like you were saying earlier, every single one has to count. Coming in with an avalanche here from WTR.
Trying to see if they can engage these boys here from the NOT side, and they don't lose 2 players as a result of it. Krilla and Phantom and Tsunami have all dropped. Clap suddenly caught between 2 squads now as QCK coming in from the east will not get that final kill, so we will not see our 9th place team, if I can actually speak correctly tonight. Oh, it's going to be a very long one, it seems like, tonight. And it looks like they're also going to have to continue fighting at this stage because they're not done here on the WTR side. Chilling Finale came through from Roop, but didn't actually find much of that. Didn't have any backup around him. Will regroup with his teammates as the also the circle starts closing in against them. Mordekiri is going to hold off as forward ground as part of this contact, but all of QCK are going to have to regroup and head down south to again hold their safety. Meanwhile, 0-0 and NATA are taking fights elsewhere, and they are losing them here. QCK still locked in an engagement. Looks like Ruper's going to cut off their avenue of escape, and they're actually going to go ahead and engage against them here. Slowed and stunned our players down south. A dive comes straight forward alongside the second win with extra support, but Suzak doesn't need it. 2 knocks in against the QCK players. The other 2 can get a little bit of room to escape, but Kai and Curie really aren't in the best of spots here, and they are getting chased very quickly.
Yeah, so I guess I misspoke earlier because Kai is indeed still alive. So that was not Kai's team that got taken out. He was able to get that res off, and it was SMT that ended up going out. So actually, totally different engage that happened there. But coming up to a fight between Up and Gap. Gap kind of on the back foot here, Jay. Oh!
Do lose Kenneth in that exchange here. Nidhogg is trying to join up with the Reen, but Kenneth is in a real bad spot. I don't think they're going to get the revive against him unless they go towards the tower. Yeah, kill found against Flame Dev's part of things. Not an ideal position to be in for the boys over in Gap. At least they picked up a soul here, so that might provide a little bit of support if they can use it correctly.
Yeah, and for those that haven't maybe played in a couple weeks, like XP Soul is different than it used to be. It's actually much better in my opinion because it gives now, instead of giving extra levels, it lets you level up your other 2 abilities to max to 4, whereas normally you can only do 1 ability max to 4. With XP Soul you can do all 3. On certain hunters that's actually insane. And so I expect to see, you can't really take advantage of it, or you can actually, that was the other difference I meant to point out, you can take advantage of it earlier now because you can level up multiple abilities to 4 before you're even level capped. So I expect Gap has already done that. We're kind of seeing it right here, Jay, in the amount of damage they're absolutely pumping into the side of WTR.
Yeah, just lost Suzak. The height does get traded back by. You've still got up players here trying to third-party this whole situation, but WTR are actually losing quite a lot out of that. Great stuff from TNN up there at the north as damage was done, but kills do not secure themselves. Will they try and engage against Gap? Gap have generally the better average of armor here. but will they work up to success? You can see that Starflash wants to try and force the fight as the forward man. You've still got to worry about WTR towards the north as well. You've also got the Quacked side also moving into this position and are trying to get a jump onto WTR, but not quite as successful here at the moment.
Yeah, and WTR Zeph trying to follow through the wall, couldn't quite. And Gap engaging on the up here, huge ult coming through from the Zeph. Nidhogg following up, but up answering back, and now 0-0N is here as well.
A Gap trying to defend themselves, but Nidhogg's all alone. Second wind comes in, and Nidhogg ain't surviving against that. Wombo combo between Up and 0-0N. Now Toilet, and maybe going down the toilet soon enough right here. We've lost our ninth place team as well in the mix, I believe, as Starflash just has to hide and wait. TNN certainly doesn't look like he's getting his way out of this one. 0-0A and NATA will try and hunt him. They won't quite catch him, though, so they turn their attention back up towards the northern side, where Quacked are still lying in wait here. They didn't quite get their way. Maybe they might start to get their way soon here. B-bomb's in play, and it's placed to perfection. Look at that damage, and a kill can come through. Ducky is not going to survive. Kitty shouldn't be surviving either. Second win placed just about adjusted against Whiskey Bear, and Whiskey Bear's got to escape because Kai's are gone all the same. QCK down to one player. I don't even think he's going to make his way out of this. They will try and hunt him. He's completely surrounded. Avenue of escape is available because they can't quite flank him towards the right. So he might stay alive for a little bit longer, but the hunt most certainly is on.
Yeah, what a Bebo bomb there, just setting up so much damage to give him the confidence to just push over the top there. Whiskey Bear may be looking to go for this repair, but they are on his trail. Look, Kira is hunting. They know he's right there still. They do not want to let him get away with this res. And remember, kill points are in effect, and it's not quite like the ELO kind of thing that happens with a squad wipe, but every kill matters here. As we see, oh, almost a dunk coming through there from Krillo. Somehow, was that Kenneth able to recover from that? It looked like that was a dunk. Yeah. I don't know how he glided at the bottom of that.
I think the bottom line for Gap is the fact that they have 4 players in play at the moment, and they have, of course, a bit of a target on their backs. Again, one of the top-end teams you have to consider here in this lobby, so they may end up getting hunted down a lot more than they're really hoping for. They are about to fight against 0-0A and NATA as well, so there could be some serious problems for them. They're still looking for Whiskey Bear here. They want to get this QCK side to drop, and they may well get their wish. Fusion is only a pixel away from getting the final kill, and indeed, it is locked in as our 8th place team. Now 0-0A and NATA's core force scattered from their main man. Kira is in trouble, forced out down south. That second wind's not going to quite reach him, as they will continue up north against Gebs and Katakuri. Gebs is low core out in between everybody here. They've also stumbled across the Soul, as Gebs will drop. Katakuri has got to fall back and reposition, and they may well get the Fortress Soul alongside it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the the downside of trying to over push for those squad wipes. Like we saw 0-0 trying to run down that final kill, end up getting split because of it. Gap takes advantage, finds 3 members split from the one that got that squad wipe, and that results in them now being on the back foot themselves. Just 1 member left, having to look for that res. Speaking of 1 member left, Chinese Spy, one of my favorite players to watch as of recently, an absolute monster on the Kingpin, is the last player left for his squad. And we got a couple last player left as we come down to SWV getting the box res onto the Twonk. So a couple teams looking to recover here. It looks like we just saw on the map Chinese Spy is going to get that, but action down here between multiple teams.
And Not Phantom going to get caught off by the upside. It looks like that Not's actually going to lose quite a lot out of this. Tsunami actually managed to defend himself with the Void in mind, but TNN wants to hunt. They do spike him down into the Abyss. You're going to go, sir. No chance to survive today. So there's a teammate somewhere in play, however. Several teammates, perhaps. Most wanted also out for the 0-0A and NATA side, of course. Katakuri losing so many of his players, but to get a kill in at this stage with so many towards that eastern front, it's not going to be an easy task, but it may well turn the tides back if he can find a decent spike at the right time. Upper hunting him as well. You can see him trying to make his way towards that north. There's another most wanted as well that could be picked up by other teams. I don't know if the SWV have their 4th player in play. Katakuri, just 60 seconds to remain and actually isolate Flamedav. Get out of the way as TNN gets caught. Spike down. Could find the kill. Not quite. Picked up a 0-0A and NATA. Have lost yet another. I still think they have another team, another player rather, I should be saying. As meanwhile, Moonlit, Battlegrounds Blue are going to get picked up on the 7th place position. So WTR are now looking for some points of their own as SWV seem to get caught inside of it. One of the up players, Toilet, is going to go falling as a result of that. Again, isolated and separated from his squad mates. 0-0A and NATA just lost Kira, so they're out in 6th place as well. Look at the quick plays forward. They've got their most wanted on the upside as well available. Lemony Lemniscale is just going to get chunked down on HP, so that's not very good. But Gap have now engaged here, and they're going to use their ultimates, pop them out to force up, to fall back out of the way. Another ultimate gets popped out from Flame Death, but only for the escape. They're trying to play the survivalist here.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was going to say, Up looking pretty strong. We saw Toilet get caught out there kind of to the bottom left, so now they're down to 3 members. They did lose one of those golds, but looking really strong on the armor front and the level front. And they see Gap to their north. They actually have a really nice kind of vision to the right. They go right where no one really is. We see if we look at like the mini map, so many teams kind of posturing around this Abyss gap as we're coming into the final circle. Still 5 squads left, a couple of them not quite at max, as we see a cheeky boxer is coming through. Rin hears it though.
Yeah, and he's going to punish it. SWV look like they're going to be eliminated next. Decent Abyssal Breaker placement, but doesn't quite land where they want it to entirely. So looks like the captain, or Cap'n rather, is not going to be able to hold himself in for much longer. At least he will survive for the time being. Find that most wanted, though. That could be an option if he can spike height. Doesn't seem like he's going to get his chance, though. Just managing to get to higher ground. Now Gap know what's going on here, so they can hunt him as a collective. I'm surprised he stayed alive for as long as he has. Height continues to look to engage here with the brawl in mind.
Dude.
Not going to find what they want, actually. Very good stuff here from Hamid. But finally, Nidhogg's going to get what he wants. Second whip doesn't quite line it. There you go. SWV are down.
Fourth time's a charm there. Actually, really insane feathering to not get spiked by the brawl there. Reading it perfectly, you know, holding the glider for when the brawl is already over the top after getting... There's so many little instances of damage that can come through with the tether hitting you, the tether pull, the spin slash after, the dunk, and doing a really nice job kind of waiting that out. But while that was happening to the north, Up times out their crown, are going to get all 4 members back. As not looking at the bottom of WTR here.
Trying to hold that one player in with a chilling finale, able to keep them at bay for the time being. Crill's going to get caught with a quick spike down. Up are moving in against them, and Gap War players are also up north trying to hold their own position. Rupert's going to take some serious damage for a great second win usage by Kenneth, but doesn't really do that much in terms of impactful damage. Up instead are going to start to move in of their own accord. WTR are completely sandwiched, and maybe even no Temnocker gets sandwiched, but Phantom gets caught inside of the void, and down to the Abyss he'll go. It's not encouraging for this Not side. I think down to 2 players, which they can't quite seem to revive. They'll find their own foothold just barely inside the safe circle. But right now, it's Gap All players that have the map advantage.
Yeah, and like if Not can get these reses through, these are some scary players. And like if they can kind of get a comeback and find the third party they're looking for, certainly can't be counted out yet. And we've seen actually like over the course of this week, a lot of these teams getting actually a lot better at playing these final circles, especially the last kind of 3 squads. TLD kind of being one of the best at playing the final circle with 3 squads left, really forcing the 2 remaining teams into each other and then playing that third party extremely well. And this week during scrims, we've seen Gap actually get a lot better at that. I think one of their biggest downsides is they constantly get punished for their over-aggression. They get third-partied all the time. But actually, like over the course of this week, by the end of the week, we've seen them take multiple scrim wins off of the back of playing that much better. And holy...
Not a good day to be Rupert, but also not a good day to be the upside. So much damage taken as Toilet gets turned back in trade here. Dan's going to try and lead them up. They isolate 1 player, but again, they can escape very, very quickly. So just the 1 casualty loss, but they're running right into Gap. New safe zones also locked in. Meanwhile, you've got No Tempo with the most wanted to their favor. Can Starflash look to engage? Both teams could come out good with a decent kill right here. It's going to get them back into the matchup for the Not side. 40 seconds on their clock still remains, and they're going to dive in on Up's side. Clap needs to get a kill out here. Low HP, loses Sinani, and now runs right into WTR, who look to finish off the job. Your top 3 are locked in.
Yeah, so unfortunate that WTR was waiting there. I think he might have had a chance playing over that Abyss if someone chased after him, looking for the dunk there. But unfortunately, running right into the arms of WTR, not able to escape that Felix Flamethrower. Does get taken down. Taking a look at the gear here from Gap, looking very strong. We see pretty solid powers, a lot of item evolutions, but the other 2 teams are fighting. So now Gap's posted up with their fortress. They're waiting for this opportunity.
Beautiful stuff on the Abyssal grab from Starflash. He's already knocked down his most wanted as well, so they can get the revive back in. All 4 players are back in play, and ultimates are getting popped out as well. WTR about to lose Ryagatsu with that second win that almost came in from Gap. It got countered for the last second. Chilling Finale down south. Doesn't catch any damage, but it will keep that upside at bay. Another second win comes forward from Toilet, but now he's dead, and it looks like TNN's going to follow into the grave. FlameDav and Starflash wondering where that most wanted could be very effective if they had it at this stage, but they don't, and now they're getting separated and bombarded by a sheer number of Gap players that are in effect. Once again, LT's for survival for FlameDav as Starflash goes falling. It looks like Gap all players are going to take their rightful place at the top of the lobby right here. I'm not sure where that last WTR player is, but it looks to be only one here with the most wanted on Dan. Needs to get this kill in if he wants to get a decent chance out of it, but just going to get sniped from beyond the walls, kept away by the Abyssal Breaker and finished off by Ryan. And there you go. Gap all players, one of our teams to watch today, have claimed game 1.
The top of the circle and just wait it out. They like, let's just wait and wait for these two teams to start fighting. As soon as they do, they move in and take advantage. Before we get into this game, Reliq, I have another noob caster question, and I deeply apologize for this. Where do I see the full team names?
The full team names? Well, here's the thing. Usually I would we shout out to the commandeered mini Liquipedia, as I like to call it. Usually I would have set all of that up so that you can see all of it. I did not have the time to do all of it tonight.
Roger that.
I will do it. I will do it overnight for sure. So
I'll do my best to learn as we go.
I'll say this: y'all are doing great. Thank you very much for bearing with, and thank you everyone who's watching. By the way, we really, really do appreciate the support. Fun fact: wasn't always meant to be Brazil versus NA. Just happened that way. Shout out to Brazil. Maybe a little bit of a spoiler for next month. We might be combining the regions into the Americas. Ooh, spicy take. Guys, it's over to you.
Reliq the leaker out here tonight. Like, what's this? And speaking of leaks,
oh yeah,
actually,
yeah.
You might want to stay tuned in. Actually, we might see a few more leaks coming out of.
Whoa!
Little spoiler into there for you. But anyway, look. Speaking of leaks, let's see if we can leak some more kills to the environment tonight, because our second game is going to be bullet trains as our storm shift, and that is my favourite because shenanigans can ensue into that final circle here, Zikorik. And I for one always enjoy when bullet trains are brought out the table. But early games, again, going to see some prods at fights, a little bit more aggressive, honestly, overall by comparison to the previous matchup here. LWX in particular are looking for that first kill onto Sweatervive, who we didn't get to see much of in that last game either. I think they've scattered their forces. One player down south is looking a little bit low, player up north also in a bit of a bad spot. They are going to take this base camp down here, and the Abyssal grab from Sunfish doesn't quite land where they want it to. They've just lost one player in Egg, actually, so this could be hammered again with his survival tactics that may end up doing some work here. His teammates try to engage from the base camp as well. Waffles and Zin might be in trouble, and indeed, actually, they get that spike onto the one man. Tiger Harvest up north still. Abyssal grab again missing from Sunfish, so doesn't quite connect on Waffles, and looks like LWX can back off and reset.
Yeah, and we saw Captain Hammered was last game the one kind of avoiding that brawl spike from Gap for so long. Some really nice looking Bishop play over the Abyss, and we see it right there again, not giving up on that fight despite being down members. Knows he has kind of advantage with the power of that Bishop. Shift reset with the LMB interaction, continues to poke and end up turning the fight in their direction. Coming down now to a fight between Gap and SMT. Height level 7 already, bro. Ult online, level 2 is fighting. Oh!
SMT suffering at this stage to the Gap side, who certainly want to come into this tournament with a lot of vengeance. They've already gotten their first game on the board. I wonder if they can get games 2 and 3 as well. SMT are the sufferers as a result of that. You can see potential resurrection out. Of course, they've got that tower on the one player that does stay alive, as Gap will just focus down on a Guardian to get levels on their board here. So again, early kills don't mean much in terms of the grand scale of the matchup. It can be recovered very quickly, although you can see that if they do go back up north, then they're going to be at a very significant level disadvantage, and Height actually looks to try and take advantage of that. Doesn't quite get the kill he's looking for, but he certainly could solo this whole situation. Holix will try and defend as well as he can, but damage is minimal by comparison, but the flank from CO World may provide what they need to. Height doesn't quite go all the way with it, and his teammates are not quite in position. Ryan actually will try and support as they do isolate one player. Seaworld will not survive in this position. Height will look for the kill. Can they get Damien Durest as well? Looks like they're certainly going to try. Height will be able to suppress him, force him out into the damage zone as we'll just look there again, solo this one individual kill, and it looks like he's going to get exactly what he wants right here. SMT suffering to our lobby favorites very quickly right here. You see them now giving chase towards the next player who's going to get left there in a very unwinnable position. It looks like SMT actually might be our first team eliminated.
That is like, this tempo from Gap this game is actually insane. Rin not letting up, gonna want to push this beacon despite the circle closing in. But the fact that Height was level 8 like so quickly against a level 2, he literally goes and solos this squad by himself. Rin comes to back him up just in case, but you're spot on, not going to be able to make it out of there. So SMT eliminated very early at 10th from what looked like maybe a sideways early scrap with Gap, where Gap maybe sniped that super important early XP off of the creeps while they're fighting. And that's another, you know, kind of high level micro thing that a lot of these really good players do, is they are not only looking to put out damage in these early exchanges, they're also looking to snipe the final kills on these creeps to get that XP. And that's just such a crazy level advantage when you're level 2 and you don't have your third ability yet, and you're fighting a level 8 brawl. Like, that's just, and he literally has the confidence to go 1v4 because of that, right? That's like crazy.
Yeah, and it pretty much worked for him for the most part. When he got that backup in there, it was like, right, well, see you later. Sometimes you just don't get towards your favor here, and for them as well, only one kill out of that game for them, so really not much in the points department, so they might end up lagging behind quite significantly by the time the lobby does come to a close. Meanwhile, Gap have actually found a fight, and they're going to make quick work of the Quacked side. 2 kills have been found against them. You've got Up that's going to try and close in against and actually clean up the squad elimination for permanency, but can they turn against the Gap side? I mentioned earlier, Reliq mentioned earlier, that sometimes they can end up dipping down in some of these mid-portion matches, but is this going to be one of those occasions? Up certainly have done well to start off the day, but now Height's arrived to back up is right here. Very good placement again of the second win, and they're going to try and support themselves as well. And Flamedav trying to just attract attention towards that right-hand side. He's lost Starflash, and unfortunately, it looks like he's going to lose himself. So Up's efforts not going fully their way.
Yeah, you can tell Height feeling himself this game, just going off really big flank there to turn that fight their way as well. Now getting in another little 1v4 before his team gets there against 0-0N. 0-0N looking to maybe come in and opportune on the back end of this action, but they are unaware that Gap is full power. Gap's just been power rolling squad after squad here on their 4th squad wipe. They're looking for it. That last squad wipe got sniped by Up, and Up got away, but just on an absolute tear here from Gap.
I'm surprised that Fusion's managed to get away from that position, and that doesn't seem like he's going to be able to hold too much here. The train's actually going to assist the Gap side. Healing's not going to aid him too much as well. I don't see where his teammates are at, so as he goes down, once again, Katakuri is going to get left in this late game as the only player that can do much of anything here. Actually, I think he's actually trying to fight against that side, which probably is ill-advised. Elsewhere, up towards the northern side, you are going to see Moonlit Battlegrounds Blue going to pick up the Teleport Soul. So a little bit, in fact, I've completely missed out. The Damage Soul also got picked up by another team elsewhere. I believe WTR has that as well. So both souls now in play for this game.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see the progression of this Moonlit Battlegrounds B squad, because these are some cracked players. I've been watching Zach for a while now. Game Over and Emotion's a little newer to me, but I've been seeing them scrim this week. And then Chinese Spy being an absolute playmaker on that Kingpin. And they have actual, you know, some real kind of coaching structures from some very experienced SUPERVIVE players on the Moonlit Battleground squad, and being able to interface with the Moonlit Battleground A squad, you know, talk about strategy, talk about what worked, what didn't against some of these other squads. Like Moonlit Battlegrounds being a very, you know, one of the teams to watch that could, you know, kind of come from behind and take this whole thing. Gap getting some more kills across, and just all over today. So we see multiple members go down on the kill feed there.
Oh, now it's not that we're in trouble right here. It's not good, for say the least, although they are going to try their best in terms of that Abyssal grab. Krillo is going to try and isolate this one pick in, but they need to turn it onto the rest of the WTR side, try and dish out the damage on the damage soul here, but they are making it work pretty well. Suzak especially, next player to fall. Rupa will get one of these chests, and you also see 0-0A and NATA. That one player that remains is down south. I don't think a third party is going to help him at this stage, because WTR are playing on the defensive and playing alone from each other. Ryogatsu with 2 two players to the left. His teammate with two players off to the right-hand side. I believe he just went down into the Abyss. Oh, no, he escaped, actually. You just saw him just barely off screen. Ryugatsu, however, will go dropping. Most Wanted is at least picked up by this man, but can Rupert actually get the kill? Necessarily not with the Abyssal grab and the chilling finale that actually forces them away, buying himself a little bit more time, but a few seconds makes not a team revive, and he is certainly playing with fire over the Abyss. Phantom comes in to try and pick up the pieces. They all have level advantage as well over Rupert, so there really isn't much that he can do other than just run for the hills and hope that a miracle comes his way.
This is tough. Like, you really got to get over Abyss as this Celeste. We saw he was doing it there. He wants to get back out to the left here. Oh! Let's go! The huge spike on the lava.
That came out of nowhere, but it may have just given not a chance back in. WTR are trying to counter this. Dan has just gone down, however. And OT are still holding dominion over this position, even if HP is not ideal. Now, they found Rupert diving in alone. No support from his teammates, and they're going to continue hunting. Look at Clap. He's on for Suzak over the Abyss. Not quite caught as of yet, but I don't think it matters. Ryugatsu is about to walk into the trap door, trying to get his revive on his teammates, but Suzak has gone down, and now Up are here to third party this. Rupert shouldn't survive. Ryugatsu certainly won't. That felt like such a wasted opportunity from WTR. As epic as it was, it doesn't convert into anything. And now 0-0 NATA, they found their revive. They found their players back in, and they look to convert upon the Sweatervive side, who are challenging them next up. They've got a couple of drops against them, but Fusion is still looking to turn back alongside Katakuri, who does find at least an opportunity to fight on Sunfish, but they've got a 3v4 situation here.
My God, man, just pure carnage up there at Imotech. Holy. And right off the back of that, we see Height taking out the last member of Moonlit Battlegrounds B in the storm zone there. So that is our sixth place squad out. 5 squads left coming in only 10 minutes in. So much more kind of hot action, like teams getting wiped much earlier than we normally see. And it's just violence.
The violence that may go the way of Up here. They want to finish the job they started. Fantastic second win coming in from the south, keeping them all pinned up against the rest of the upside. It's Starflash with the double and a fantastic sequence of kills that seems to continue to stack up their numbers right here. It might be a relatively low kill game for Up, but 9 on the board and now within the top 4. That can help them. Gap, however, they want to continue their dominance, and look at what they'll do against the Twonk. He is dealt with quickly, and now Captain is also going down. Sunfish all alone right here to run back to the lava and try and just again find a miracle moment here. No Most Wanted's available at this juncture, not at least close towards him, as Gap will clean house. We're in our top 3.
This is crazy game, bro. These teams are hungry. Gap is absolutely going off this game. That's like multiple squad wipes in like 11 minutes. Absolutely crazy. Katakuri, like trying to make a hero survive here, is going to be shifted by that Jewel with full stacks. Not able to get away. Bullet trains coming through. So we are going to be closing in on the bullet train tracks fairly soon here. And I'm just as excited as you, Jay, to see. I'm a huge fan of bullet trains.
Fusion may now get in trouble right here because Up have found him, needs Kira. I don't know where Kira is, actually. Really could use that B-bomb because it was pretty effective when they had it out for 0-0 NATA, but he's nowhere to be seen. And Fusion looks to get picked up soon. Yep, Kenneth, perfect placement on that second win. It's been such an impactful ability as well over the course of basically the last couple of patches here. Great range, great damage, healing properties as well. And now Up can finish off the 0-0 NATA side. Another top end finish for them, actually improving from top 5 to top 3. But now our second place team in Up from the last matchup. Now a chance to do the exact same thing and try and go even further against Gapple players.
Dude, yeah, and the tempo of this game, bro, look, we have 2 squads left. Look how giant this final circle is still. Everyone's just been murdering each other like Mach speed. It's crazy. And Up actually had such a good play earlier up there in Imotech because they were able to find that third party, take multiple squads out, and secure that damage soul for themselves. So making, you know, a very scary team for Gap to fight against, but Gap always terrifying in their tempo. We can see MainJam showing us the items here. Gap, you know, monster items, double Fate Rewinder, and they find a pick onto Up. So numbers advantage right off the bat. I expect Gap to maybe look here at a push before a res can happen, but it looks like they are going to have time. They're pretty spread out. And
I mean,
so
Gap,
I think
I mean, Gap have safety right here of the circle. I mean, they don't have to push, they don't want to, because time is going to work towards their favor. But no, Kenneth actually dived right in. He has no support from his teammates, but they're here en masse now. It looks like this could be a much earlier end of the game than I might have thought here. Gap are able to push high, straight forward into FlameDav in the back lines, but he'll try his best to keep them held at bay. There's once again the ultimate's getting popped out. A little bit of healing from FlameDav to also dive out of the way as Gap will regroup. Where's that fourth player? I cannot see them here. They've also got a red box available, but I don't think anyone's got the chance to pick it up at this stage of TNN. Dives right into center of Massa Height, and Kenneth, Star Flash, keeping him away. Tries to get that Abyssal grab. It doesn't land on anybody, and FlameDav will charge forward the Abyssal Breaker as well, but they will not be able to connect on anybody from the Gap side. Instead, they find an isolation pick, and we're down to 7 players. Up are the ones that take that first casualty. TNN's got to run for it.
Yeah, and another kind of like caught out pick on FlameDav, and numbers advantage to Gap. They are unrelenting here, continuing the push, not giving Up a chance to breathe. Up does grab the crown, but there's just a relentless pursuit here from Gap. They've been doing this all game since we saw the level 8, like minute 1 height, and they want to finish here.
TNN needs to get a kill in. He's lost Star Flash. That most wanted may be their only chance. Toilet is going to get caught by them as well. The Abyssal Breaker landed on him and everything. Gap are going to pick him up. We need a miracle and nothing short of it. He's got to the shop at least. Can pick up a few bits and pieces, but look at how quickly High is going to get back here as well. The Teleport Soul aiding in the Gap side. TNN is going to get caught off guard as a result of it. Diving back out towards the left-hand side. Another most wanted right there for him if he needs it, but really needs to turn up in this 1 minute and 10-second marker. King Nidhogg is hunting him, and he's gone towards the left-hand side, but flanked over in that. Back to higher ground. Damage is done. Oh, he's with the kill. 3 seconds. The second win doesn't quite catch him. Up and back in the game.
Oh, bro. I can't believe it. They're right back in, and they're answering.
It's Quicken from the Gap side. They're going to try and play down the man disadvantage, and they got damage onto FlameDav pretty nicely as well. He's got that ultimate back in though. Can heal. Get out of the way again just to back up and play defensive. You got one player right in the thick of it from the upside, and King Nidhogg finally used up those numbers. Ryan is back, and Gap are back as well. Oh, what a moment it was for Up, but again, a most wanted wasted, as it felt like it could have changed everything for the South American squad, but it's Gap that continued to reign supreme. 2 game victories in a row between 3rd place, 4th place, and like 5th place at this stage. So again, those top 4 spots where you're looking at the most, top 2 seems to be locked in. So let's see how everyone's going to contest. Let's see whether there is going to be any nightmares on the board here in game 3.
Yeah, and it'll be really curious to see kind of the drop strategy in this game, because teams are going to be playing for those kill points, maybe looking to scrap earlier than normal, a little less of this split farm, because that's basically how Gap got such a crazy advantage last game, is they won that early scrap, early squad wipe, rolling those levels into the next 8 fights and coming away with the dub. Only 2 dropping into Cold Fang, 1 going to Mana Coils, 1 way up in Chaos. Oh, we got 3 Chaos Steps looking crowded. So 3 into Ion Acres, 1 north into Chaos Steps, couple into Wraith's Row. So we may actually see some early scrapping, and it's right here, Jay, like right into it.
It's Up. Up have done well. Oh, the Abyssal Grab has finally landed. Starflash have been looking for that all day today as well, and finally that comes up. Not quite with first blood against QCK, but it works well enough for the upside. Now TNN on his flank. They want to try and farm up some decent kill points right here, because that may well be their way into the top end here. It's SMT elsewhere engaging in other fights. QCK are gonna get cut down here. Kai should not last too much longer indeed. Down to the hands of FlameDav, so Up once again proving why they are in the 2nd place position. We've already lost our first squad here, so that's elimination being found in like what, the first 30 seconds or so. That's I'd say minute and 25 actually. It feels like 30 seconds. It might as well be.
For real, bro. That's like so fast for a squad wipe, and it's basically exactly what we've been talking about. It's like these teams need kill points, and they are dropping hot. They are scrapping instantly. There's just fights all over the map. This is so much differently than what we normally see, bro. So WTR looking at the flank of SMT. SMT on the back foot, like a down bit, levels down a player as well. Can they kind of hold the line here against WTR?
Doesn't feel like it. WTR, the team in 3rd place. SMT currently in last place on the overall board. And so this feels like it's more like sharks spilling blood in the water. The level disparity is pretty huge, and already they've lost a player on that purple team. Suzak now looks to take 1 more down to Felix. It's actually Rupert that steals that kill away in the end, and CO Ward should not be surviving too much longer. So indeed, SMT will drop in 9th place. A single point towards their name. It's not been looking like a great day for them.
Yeah, just crazy how, you know, kind of hungry everyone is for this tournament, to get to tomorrow, to have a chance to play for those prize pools. And it's like, it's just like so cool seeing the tempo shift from kind of the normal meta you might experience in like solo queue. Everyone's kind of chilling to level 7 split farming. It's like, oh no, points matter, kills matter. Your tournament life is on the line here. Everyone just dropping hot, scrapping instantly. And we saw maybe a couple teams that are looking to farm points, maybe target dropping on some of our weaker squads, because we saw Up battling Quack, and we saw White Tigers battling the team that just got knocked out shortly after them. Oh yeah, so like that ground canceled that, I think, from the wire.
Yeah, Nidhogg was able to survive against that Abyssal grab, and now Gap are here on force to try and deal with the SWV side, who are trying to catch them off, but, well, it all falls apart as soon as Gap get their bearings together. 2 kills start coming in. The Captain Hammer is probably not going to be able to make his way out of this one, just the way the Gap have been playing. They have been absolute monsters right here, so this seems to be the end of SWV, the last player up north somewhere, Sunfish. It's got some potential time to try and get out of the way, actually teleporting away from position, so able to escape the ire of the Gap side for now, but not able to go so far as to do much at this stage.
Going to be looking for that daytime Kobayashi's res. Looks like no one's going to be around to mess with him, so he probably will be able to get that off, no problem. Taking a look at Up here, Starflash already in level 8, 2 level 7s and a 6. Items looking pretty good, so Up off to a nice start off of the back of that early tempo. Sunfish is going to be able to... Oh, Chinese Spy looking for the heart pull, maybe.
Oh, and he's going to get it. There you go. No! Wonderful. See you later, boys. Dash try, but not to be. Oh, that sucks. I've only ever seen that once. I've only ever seen that once before as well, and it's funny every time it happens. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
So Up may be in trouble right here. WTR are trying to fight against them. And, well, I mean, look, Abyssal Grab certainly worked out well for everybody today as Rupa gets picked up by Toilet as the, man, I guess the official kill out here. Dan's going to get pushed inside of a wall and has to escape via the grind rail. Flame Dav's going to try give chase, but low HP in that one. Might not want to stick around for the full-blown fight. And, indeed, he thinks better of the situation. Up have the minion over this central part of the map fight, but doesn't quite end up with either team getting away with the knocks.
Yeah, and it looks like they are going to peel out. If that scrap goes through, if those two teams fight, whoever comes away with the victory of that is really going to put themselves ahead on the scoreboard, because those two teams neck and neck, I think 3rd and 4th between White Tiger and Up there. And White Tiger ends up peeling out. I don't know if they had their whole squad there. We saw Dan actually pumping big damage on the Myth as he like Tony Hawked away on the grind rail. So Up not looking for that pursuit, and we see Not Clap in for the engage on 0-0.
Katakuri taking some decent damage and just about manages to get the Chilling Finale out to cancel it very quickly, just keep Clap away, but still no tempo. We're going to try and dish out the damage against 0-0 and NATA. Look at the HP onto Kira. Not going to have much of a chance to strike back here, and now Moonlit, Battlegrounds Blue start coming in, the third party of the situation. Games are going to get caught up for it. Snipes missed out against Kira, still low HP. The heals only do so much here. Katakuri now going down south to try and avoid the potential fights that might work against them here. No tempo, have got to just run away from Moonlit Battlegrounds Blue because they are the stronger team in this exchange. Meanwhile, Gap are picking up some kill points. It's QCK that start to suffer for it, and MBB will hold the minion over the train, or will they? Kira's going to get forced off, does not stick around for the fights.
Yep, and during that action, we see QCK does get taken out by Gap there at 7th, and so 6 squads left already, only, what, 6 minutes in? This is crazy tempo getting played out here compared to what we normally see, and teams just being super aggressive. We saw Clap just ship it in there in the 1v4, almost going like really well their way, but Moonlit taking advantage, coming in from the north with a sort of armor advantage, break up that fight, not able to get too many kills or a squad wipe on either, but oh, Krillo getting spiked there on the runaway.
Yeah, bye-bye Bieber, I think, is what we had to say to him at that stage. Rupa has just been picked up as well as MBB continue to fight back against WTR. They have come into this game with a vengeance for a team that are 7th place as well. You are in the double-digit marker. They're not quite within the top range of looking for 3rd or 4th, but they are going to try and make a decent gun for it. A good kill point game, or a good place win game, actually could put them back within that running. So not too surprised in my perspective in seeing them try and go for blood at this stage, but they're about to fight against the most bloodthirsty team in the lobby right now. Gap are right in to meet them. King Nidhogg, is he going to try solo this again? He's got a level advantage, certainly over Zach. And look at the rest of them coming in real quick. They're going to do so much against that Abyssal Breaker. Chinese Spy gets sniped out, eventually picked up by King Nidhogg, and now it looks to be game over for Game Over and Emotions, and probably for Moonlit Battlegrounds Blue as well at this stage. No tempo. Phantom actually might try and look for the steal. He actually does snipe it indeed, but has to run very quickly away from the gap side because he's the only player that's out in this position.
Yeah, that's actually kind of huge for NATA to just snag a free kill there, coming over the Abyss, just not ready for it. But Gap with Shrapnel now, bro. We saw those gold armors do nothing against the Shrapnel Soul. Just so much damage. Nidhogg played that beautifully, stealths in, separates the team with the Myth R&B pushing 2 members up into the Abyssal Breaker from Rin. Just beautiful team play there coming through from Gap. And it looks like Flame Dab looking for the shift onto Gebs, barely shifting out himself, but still on the hunt here. Oh,
Gebs can't really stay alive here. All he can do is just use Abyssal Breaker to try and get the kills in against the man. If he had the most wanted, then maybe that could have ended up something, but it doesn't end up to much at all here. The revive can come in from TNN and up can maintain themselves within the top 4. And interestingly, our top 4 in this lobby are our top 4 teams on the board as well here. Look at Suzak, the lone player for WTR, who's going to try and stay alive against the no-tempo side. He is literally a snake in the grass at the moment, and he's snuck. He's let them all sneak right past here. Oh, this could... how does this impact things?
That's like White Tiger's doing what they need to do to stay in it. I love that kind of stuff because now he's going to have an opportunity maybe at this isolated crown to his south, maybe at the beacon to his right, as soon as Not makes their way over. But we saw Not picking up a couple, you know, kills across the map. So maybe starting to contest White Tiger's points in this game. You mentioned these teams being 3rd and 4th with White Tigers having that slight points advantage. Not maybe able to overtake them, especially if they're able to find this Firefox, you know, last member left. Not many options in the bush. And up, I don't know. They have, oh, they do have the intel, so they know Not's here. Phantom kind of caught out.
Try and defend himself as best he can. He's all alone at the moment. Teammates are coming in that try support. He'll try to get away, but over the Abyss means that it's a very easy spike to come through. Up now looking for Phantom, who will go down next up. Knocked down to 3 players here. Have picked up on most wanted at least, but Suzak still sticks around. I don't think they're going to find him at this moment. No. Okay, they've got him now. This should be the end of the White Tigers. Sanani is going to chase him down. He does manage to escape here, but to go around north, the gap might not be the best position with advantages. Up, recognize the danger here. They're going to try and look for this green team and try end this most wanted indeed. Clap has just gone falling, and Gap now look to try and move in and pick up the rest of the pieces of the upside. A great Abyssal grab. Can they turn it into anything? Second wind does not do much. Abyssal Breaker gets returned over from the Gap side, and Up are forced into a corridor fight. Toilet down south. Got to deal with King Nidhogg, but the HP damage is too staunch from the Gap side. Height looks to finish off the job against Toilet, and he almost gets his prey. Cannot snipe him from range. TNN is going to have to dive out of the way, but right into the Abyss he'll go once again. Flame Dav can't do much here as King Nidhogg's going to clean him up as well. Oh, this Gap side are just far too strong to deal with. Up now in a very dire spot. Looks like Toilet may end up falling sooner rather than later here.
Yeah, and you look at the comp gaps running, it's so hard to punch through, right? It's literally Zeth, Oath. You have so much sustain. You have the tankiness, the engage, the kind of block potential of the Oath. You have all the Zeph's crowd control and heal support behind that. Here we go. White Tigers getting the res for Brazil, keeping them in it, trying to run their points up now that all 4 members back, trying to catch up on some kill points here, keep their spot in 3rd because Not is certainly threatening at this game. And Height looking for the crown.
Oh, wait. He's too staunch, but he stunned him pretty nicely. King Nidhogg's coming with the extra support. Can't quite find that snipe, although they are chasing him down. Starflash may have just missed his opportunity right here. He'll give it the best go that he can to run away. He's also got a port available to him to get out of dodge, and he might need to run for it as well. That's what those portals are able to do. And now, look at no tempo. Can they find a way back in? Doesn't look like it. Gap are actually going to go right through that portal and continue to give chase right here, but can they find that lone wolf?
Yeah, and actually we were talking about portals earlier. That's kind of the first one we've really seen. It was taken defensively by Starflash, but he's actually going to go right into the hands of White Tigers, who rezzed up here. They're going to look to farm those kill points. Can he get away? 40 seconds on the NATOs.
Might have to play this on a timer. No, he just gets sniped out there by King Nidhogg, finally picking up his prey, and they quickly move in against the White Tigers. You have no business here in the top 4. At least Upper falling pretty quickly, and now WTR are very quickly reduced to 1 player of their own right. Looks like he's going to be falling relatively soon right here. Got to get back through the portal to try and even get a chance of staying alive. It's not going to happen. Gap are now in the top 2 alongside No Tempo, who are already engaged in what should be the final fight right here. The only advantage they have is the player advantage for now, but that's not going to last for long, so if they're going to use it, they're going to have to use it real quick. Tsunami is taking some damage, at least from range. Actually does catch King Nidhogg on the quick snipe away. He's still got Kenneth involved, and also that back line from Height. Flatten on the flank, not going to move in towards these 3 players, but Height continues to stun Krillo and should be able to dish out that damage again. Level advantage is well and truly over all players in this exchange, and now the rest of Gap are looking to dive forward. Abyssal Breaker will scatter players. Tsunami's just trying to dash out of the way. Phantom has gone down. Gap are using all their forces to focus down 1 player, so Tsunami shouldn't really be able to do much except play distraction. Maybe give Krillo an opportunity to find a revive if it's all possible. Where's he gone? Right towards the tower, but not enough time right here. They're going to be able to push him off pretty quickly. He'll try and defend with the B-bomb. Oh, he keeps his team back in, but he's going to go down. Rini has picked up the kill and now not completely scatter. It may have been an opportunity, but it doesn't look like it's an opportunity that's going to be capitalized upon. Once again, the revives in the late game are not able to turn the tides of the matchup. Equipment's far better for the Gap side. Phantom can only do so much here. Again, isolated in what is a 1v2 fight. Up north, you've got another 1v2 fight. No Tempo. Just seems like they've got no chance right here. The last man standing should be falling soon. Again, Clap's got a most wanted. Again, maybe an opportunity here. He needs to get that kill in pretty quickly, though. I don't think he's going to get his chance.
Yeah, wings across, just trying to bait something. Height knows better, not going to follow with those wings up, so now wings are down. Clap trying to kite it out a little bit. Play, he wants to find his way back over Abyss, but Gap on the hunt, not relenting. Tsunami's still up here, in with the ult. Oh, it's huge!
Chance available, they need to get this kill on the most wanted player, however they can't quite capitalize upon it. Clap missed his opportunity. Oh man, how close they're getting to just getting into this late game and somehow turning it back, but now the most wanted is gone, and Tsunami is officially the last player that remains here for No Tempo, and in what is a 1 versus 4, there's just nothing he can do. And I've been saying that quite a lot because it really is true. Gap are the unstoppable force, and nothing is going to stop them here today. Not the No Tempo side, not Tsunami, and nobody in this lobby. It is going to be 3 straight first places for Gap will play.
That's what I want to see. Like to what you were just saying, Jay, the 0-0 NATA being in 5th. And we see Sweatervive and Moonlit Battlegrounds be not too far behind them. So like 0-0 NATA being the team that maybe be able to actually get that upset. But if we see a monster game from Sweatervive or from Moonlit Battlegrounds, like we could see a crazy kind of upset to the 3rd and 4th spots. You know, and they're going to have to go, though. They're going to have to play with that Gap tempo, like right off the drop here if they want that.
Yeah, well, you know who to be watching out for? It's Final Destination time. The only way this could be more Final Destination is if we had 3 floating platforms. So let's get into it. Last game of the lobby, and then we move in towards Group B as well. Of course, 10 more teams up to fight for their spot in the Day 2 finals.
Here we
go. But again, let's get into it. It's all about game number 4. SMT and QCK are the closest team to each other at the moment, but also White Tigers are off there a little bit further. I think there's actually a 4th team involved in that particular exchange. So there might actually be some very early action going down. It's Gap and 0-0 NATA. They're going to try and look for Kenneth first and foremost. Where are his teammates, though? They're just down south, so it looks like he's not in too much danger. It's a big risk for 0-0 NATA, though. They need to turn this into success, and already they've lost a player. It looks like they're going to lose Kira as well. Fusion needs to get that support in because Kira is losing HP very quickly. Ryan is involved alongside Kenneth. They're going to hunt Kira down. Kira should be falling soon. Kira is now dead.
Yeah, so 0-0 NATA looking to contest the 4 golds that are down here in the Scavenger Bay area. But however, they... Oh, no. So we were just talking about 0-0 NATA in 5th having a chance here if they're able to put it together.
You heard nothing. You heard nothing.
I was just going to get a pit lane report from you, Reliq.
The pit lane report is you heard nothing.
Oh dear. Well, they're now officially out of the running for the 3rd and 4th place spots for 0-0 NATA. So now Let's look at White Tigers and no tempo from here on out, I think. SMT are currently the next team up to fight against QCK. Gap had a player down south as well, but he's not going to really get involved in this. Doesn't really need to here for the Gap side. Just play their own kind of game, and QCK will start to lose out as a result of that. You're right about the nade. Well placed. Whiskey Bear is the first to fall in this particular fight, although Kenneth does want his lickings in. Does a little bit of damage, but doesn't want to dive straight into that fight on his lonesome.
Yeah, and just going back to that earlier fight, it was such a, that's just like going to show the sort of difference in experience playing at this level, at this tempo, which Gap is very experienced at. I don't know about 00A and NATA's experience, but 00A and NATA trying to push down on the level 1. Gap was already at those camps to their south, you know, like have the kind of advantage on the drop tempo, and they come up and fight at level 3 while all the members on 00A and NATA are level 1. If you've ever played SUPERVIVE, fighting level 1 is an absolute tragedy on a lot of hunters. You can't do anything without your abilities, and we basically saw it there. Rin and Kenneth able to take big advantage, and really big fight here between Moonlit, Battlegrounds, and Up having to peel. So nice showing here from Moonlit to kind of, this is what they need to do. They need to continue this tempo, continue getting these kills. We see all members on 7, so I would love to see them. I guess Zach's still 6, but going to be there shortly. I would love to see them continue looking for the violence here.
I'm kind of surprised that Up have been as easily collapsed against as they have been against MBB. Oh, fantastic grab as well from Chinese Spy, and TNN has just fallen. That's 3 players down on the part of Up, and well, I mean, look, they haven't got much to worry about because they are so high on the point counts, but even so, not what I expected to see out of them in this final lobby.
Yeah, and it's actually so big for Moonlit, bro, that 00A and NATA did get taken out so early, because that was the team, you know, just one of the teams above them, just shortly above them. So they may be able to pass them, may be able to make a huge push and get up into those top 4 potentially. And Quack in such a rough spot, playing into the storm here, getting sort of like guarded by White Tigers. White Tigers, a monster performance. Oh, so the myth v myth. Kai comes out on top for Quack. And so, wow, that was spicy though.
Well, White Tigers can get a few more kill points on their board, and I imagine the revive can also come in sooner or later. I think they're also aware of Gap being down south as well. Do not want to stick around if they do not have to. They might even get that final QCK player, but Ducky actually makes his way in as they teleport back out towards base camp. Gap are going to find this vault in the meantime, and I get some more information onto where these players are holding from at the moment. Pretty nicely spread out, except for Up, who are once again having to deal with other lower level teams. They have at least got their 2 players back in play, so they've got an opportunity to try and build back into this. However, level disadvantage over SMT. I think SMT have a little bit, no, actually, 1 player has slightly better armor, but has to repair it soon enough, and Up are going to try and capitalize upon that. Toiler, first player forward. Starflash involved as well, but the counter is fantastic from contributing, as well as the Felix there, and the ultimate popped out. Starflash has got to try and retreat, regroup with his teammates. Might just get caught. No, gets out of the way.
Pretty like overzealous there by Up, just looking for the 2v3, knowing they need these kill points, knowing they're behind on tempo. You know, while they're looking to recover this whole time, they're not getting kill points while other squads are. They know even if they get 4th, it's not guaranteed. It depends on kill points. So just making a judgment call there, saying, yo, let's look at, we can get a couple cheeky kills here in this 2v3. We still have other members up, they can pick us back up. Not able to get it through, but you know, that's kind of what you got to look for when you're in such an interesting position, like points wise. And this is where, so I love like when the kind of tournament macro, like the points macro comes into play, you know, in these games, like starts to actually affect the way teams are playing and their strategy based on what they need to do with points. It adds like such an interesting dynamic that's like almost never there, you know, if you're not playing in a tournament.
It makes it super interesting just to eye up and predict and try and guess where teams are going to be at, and just understand exactly how these fights can affect everything. In the case of Up, of course, currently against SWV here, Flamedav, very good kill onto Captain Hammered, and needs to get a lot more damage onto Stunfish. Might just do this on his lonesome. No, his teammates body block all that damage, but there's plenty more players around him, and so SMT will come in and try and pick up the pieces against this particular third-party fight. Find the twonk. Flamedav is going to get caught a little bit further up north. Eventually will have to fall out of position as Up do turn back some kills against them here. The cavalry has finally arrived, but a little bit too late to the party, and they'll start to pay for it as a result. SMT are going to try and deal the damage against him. TNN, as a result, is going to go falling. Flamedav and his teammate is going to get pushed up. That's Toiler there towards Kobayashi. And FlameDav can't really make his way into safety either. Needs that support from his teammate. But actually, they do dive in to continue against this fight and do relatively well for it, but not fall all the way right here. The backup has finally gotten to position, and they are going to clean house against SMT. Seowald now, I think the last player standing, or if not all alone here. Teammate down south as they scatter and run right into the White Tigers, who are also giving chase up. Will try and take this team out and kill their chances, or at least try and hinder their chances of making it into that top 3 right here. Zuzak and Rupa are going to need to run.
FlameDav going crazy, bro. 1v4 is one squad, looking to 1v4 a second squad, holding him at bay. Toilet comes in to back him up. They get almost another team wipe off the back of that. And Up looking to really recover here, putting it to White Tigers, the other team that's sort of threatening their position. Rupa may be able to get out of the north, but not going to really have anywhere to go. Might be able to survive this flame damage, but FlameDav not giving up, over the top with the wings, and TNN follows with the myth.
Got to run for it. Rupa just can't stick around, needs to prioritize survival right here. And I think Up are going to recognize the position that the opposition is in at the moment, but the chances of a revive are extremely low with how hot on his heels the upside are. At least Gap are providing support elsewhere as Toilet actually gets picked up in a separate fight off screen. So there might be a chance, or might be an opportunity for Rupa if Up decide to call in their forces and retreat. But he's taking more and more damage as he gets caught up on geometry. Sniped, not from position, seems like he's just about going to get away on the rails. Another respawn tower is right there. I don't think he's going to get his chance though.
Yep, just trying to use that grind rail momentum to peel out here. Up might run into Sweatervive and might kind of get him. Oh, but he's going to go right into Gap.
And that should be his end. He will at least put a little bit of time stalling, but will fall towards the lava. And suddenly, if you're no tempo, you suddenly just looked at that kill feed, thought, right, this is our chance. Come back to that in a second, though, because Gap aren't done. Just spiked a player. Captain Hamid is down south and probably is going to fall towards the Abyss, or if not, he'll fall down to a straight-up strike. Similar story as well for TNN on the upside. You've got one player extending out, and finally, he's going to go down. Captain Hamid has been picked up for permanent. And this last player of TNN, I believe the only player alive right now for Up.
Yeah, but is able to snipe that kill midair, so does lock another one in for Up. He's shifted under the world there, not actually able to get up. He never actually mantled. I think he was actually like under the lava there or something weird. I couldn't quite tell what was happening, but Gap just had like literal, like multiple teams just served on a platter. They had last player just fed up right to him as 4. Then they had 2 squads of 2 basically fighting out there. They just crushed into the side of both of them. So Gap, the real winners in that exchange, coming away with even more kill points and another squad wipe for the book. So now we see Moonlit Battlegrounds positioning against NATA. Pretty even if we look at levels, but Moonlit does have that damage soul.
Yeah, of course. We've been talking about no tempo throughout the course of the night as a team that could well take 3rd place. So that fight may well decide their fate at this moment. Meanwhile, we've just saw the elimination of SWV. So they are out of the lobby for good right here at the hands of Gap as well. Oh, this is interesting. Starflash has got 30 seconds on the most wanted, so Up may have a chance to once again take top 2 or try and go further in the lobby. They've had a couple opportunities against the Gap side, but well, of course, they're going to have to try and focus down on getting those revives in if they want the chance at the moment. Seowald is close. Starflash is going to wait as FlameDav actually baits and switches in with the trap. Seowald is going to get caught for it, and there goes the kill against them. The 4 players are back in for Up. 3 players, 2 players for SMD, also forced into the damage zone and should lead to their demise as well. A wonderful trap set up by Up, but Gap are quickly here to try and return against them, return them back to their demise. TNN is going to get picked up for it. Our top 4 teams are locked in as once again Up have got to scatter and try and regain their numbers.
Dude, so sick there. I was going to say, bro, I have never seen someone make this present power work effectively. I've never seen someone bait someone into opening it and popping it. I've seen a lot of top players like on stream try to make it work. There, Starflash does it perfectly, puts it down in a spot a present would be, and doesn't like wait for it to get popped, but turns and surprises someone who thinks he has an isolated 1v1, and they get it, proc the crown, get the whole team back. Just like such an awesome play off of the sneaky present positioning, like so clutch there from Starflash. Love it.
For Up, they're going to continue to try and fight back with this revive. A 3rd player has joined them. Gap, however, they are moving in very quickly to try and hunt them down. Look at how quickly Height is moving up against Toilet. Level advantage again in these fights. It seems like Gap are always the level advantage here.
Yeah.
Moving in against Toilet. should get isolated, should get picked up. This brawl's been just far too good for them. Meanwhile, Gap have actually hunted down Flame Dab, so that fight continuing up further north here. Meanwhile, No Tempo taking some damage to the Moonlit Battlegrounds blue side. Kenneth has also found himself involved in this fight as well, he'll try and engage against this. Might actually help the Not side to get some kill points, and indeed, Emotions and Game Over have fallen. Emotions falling to Phantom. Now Clap moves in against Chinese Spy, forcing him out of position, and now Phantom and Co. will also look to join the fray. Krillo, it's a 4v1 team fight, and Chinese Spy knows that he's got to run for it. Fortunate to get away, but he's still being chased. Not do fall back and eventually try and play the long game, thinking their placement might be more superior to them, but they are in the best spot of any of those teams that are fighting for 3rd and 4th place. It's Gap, MBB, and Up. Gap and Up within the top 2. MBB were down in 7th coming into this game, so we're looking at a very good position right now for Not. I think they may have, at this point, mathematically secured themselves within 3rd place.
And Chinese Spy having like a cheeky geyser play there to get away in the 1v4, actually really nice. Gets up over the top, is able to get to that crown. Now the last hope for Moonlit Battlegrounds. It's got to be huge here, but pinned against the walls. So instantly taken out by Gap there. And we've seen Gap continuing to play super aggressive, looking to kind of like spoil everyone else's day that's trying to get kill points to catch up. We see Kenneth like almost on his own, poking at team fights on the Zeph like all game. Like Gap is just messing with people at this point.
Krillo is not going to... Actually, does manage to get away. I'm surprised he did. Honestly, he was completely surrounded by the opposition. Got spiked onto harder grounds and not going to die towards the lava. Toilet's got a most wanted. He's going to try and take a low HP player down, missing his chance, although he's still up there. A chance still available against Tsunami. He needs to get him, though. He needs to hunt him down, continue that chase if he wants to give up another chance. But you've still got Gap players. Rian, in particular, moving into the man. It's low HP now for Toilet instead, as Tsunami breaks away from where Rian's coming in from. I think Gap are continuing to fight the rest of the No Tempo side as well, further off screen. Finally, that most wanted player is going to get hunted, still managing to run away for the time being. Height's going to corner him, and he will go down. So, No Tempo make it into 2nd place at the very least, and with the way that Gap are playing, I think that's where they're going to end as well. They've got both souls, they've got a player advantage, 1 minute 45 on the most wanted, and now Tsunami has been discovered here. So, Abyssal Breaker to catch him, mass damage, kills should be found, game should be done. Gap, there's a massive gap between them and everyone else in this lobby. 4 back-to-back game wins, plenty of kill points to boot. They are the best team in Group A.